Hey guys, so my box of IVF meds came in and I have to open them. I was going to do like kind of an unboxing and show you everything, and I was gonna like make sure my hair and makeup looked good and everything to film myself, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little self-conscious sometimes, but I have to open this now so that I can put things away and store them the way they need to be stored, because some things need to be refrigerated. So I'm going to open them up and kind of show you what everything is. I now have everything that I will need for this IVF cycle except for my trigger shot. We're using Lupron as a trigger shot, and so that's the shot that I'll give myself to release my eggs before they go in for the retrieval. They haven't sent the Lupron yet because it expires within 2 weeks of being mixed, so they're going to wait until a little closer to time to send that. But in the meantime, I thought I would share what has come in. Before I open this box, I will show you that I had a really great friend who's gone through IVF, and she was so sweet and kind and offered to share her leftover medication of Menopur. So this is what I'll be using to make my my follicles that will have hopefully the potential eggs in them to grow. So this is the Menopur. I already have that. And it is stored. The doctor okayed it being passed down by a friend. It doesn't expire. It hasn't been opened. Or it does expire, but it hasn't expired yet. It hasn't been opened. So I already had those, which saved us some money, which is a really big deal because IVF is not cheap. So I have the Menopur already. So let's see what else is in here. Here's kind of what it looks like. All right, and you're just going through this with me because, like I said, I haven't opened it. You just watched me open it, so we'll go through it and see what's in everything. So let's see. Follistim. So Follistim, also a Follistim pen. This is new, actually, and probably with a cartridge. So it's got a little case. This is actually different from last time. Okay, so I did Follistim last time, but I didn't have it like this. So this is a new way to do it. So I'm sure the doctor or the nurses will show me how to use that. So this will also help with the growth of the follicles. The idea in IVF is to grow as many as you can. The more that you have, the more chance at eggs you have. The more eggs that you have, the more chance that they're going to, when they're mixed with the sperm, they'll be healthy embryos. So that is what most of this stuff is going to be for, is to make me produce all those eggs, all those follicles. So I'm just going to kind of look at this and see. I don't think this needs to be refrigerated. So look at all of the directions here to see if it says. I don't think I need to refrigerate the Follistim. It doesn't say anywhere how to store this one, unless it's underneath the stick. I'm gonna set this one aside for just a second and see if I can figure this out. All right, then I have needles. Which needles are these for? For the Menopur, so needles, which, if you haven't seen kind of what they look like, they're just syringes. They have the needles attached to them. I don't know if you can see that. So those are the small needles. These will be going in my abdomen, kind of that lower stomach area. This is a different doctor this time, and our protocol is a little bit different too, so that's why. And it's also been like two years, a little over 2 years since the last time we went through all of this. I'm a little rusty on some of this. Alcohol swabs for the shots. Oh, here are the fun ones. Are you ready for this? These are the progesterone needles. You know what? Okay, this is what it is. I was kind of thinking these seemed long. So these come with, this is what we had to do last time. So these syringes for the Menopur have the same size needle as the syringes for the progesterone. It is about, I mean, honestly, it's close to the length of my pinky, the needle part. And for the Menopur that goes in my stomach, there's two different types of shots, and there's a subcutaneous shot, which doesn't have to be in the muscle, and then the other one is intramuscular, I think. I'll have to look into that and make sure I'm saying those right. And those go into the muscle. So the subcutaneous ones are not as long because they don't need to go directly into a muscle. And then the intramuscular shots are longer to get into where it needs to be. So the progesterone, those are the ones that go in your hip or your backside, and those are the longer needles. So I will actually be using a needle about the size of my pinky for those. Then these come with a needle the same size, but you take the needle off and you use a needle that is much, I don't know if you can even see that, if it'll focus. I don't even think that's gonna focus. They're much, much smaller. It's about the size of like my pinky nail versus my actual whole pinky. So lots of needles and syringes. So we don't mix those up. Then I have, here's the sharps container. I already know what it is before I get, oh, there's more in here. Fun. Okay. So this red box is the sharps container, and that was when I pulled out the lid on the top. So all those needles and syringes will go in here to, that way we're not just throwing loose needles into our garbage bag where somebody could get poked and get hurt. So I have Ganirelix, which I'm gonna have to refresh what it all is. Subcutaneous. So basically, I'm gonna have to refresh myself on what all this is. I'm sorry that I was gonna actually sit down and like review everything so I could tell you specifically. I want to say some of these slow the growth of some of the follicles. So if I have follicles in my ovaries that are getting big, my ovaries want to release them, and we want as many follicles as we can. So some of these are to stop they're like an anti-ovulation, so they stop the growth of the big follicles so that they stay, and then I can keep growing the smaller follicles so they can catch up. And I want to say that's what this one is for, but I don't remember. And again, I'm gonna have to look through and see how to store this. See, this one says right here, store at 68 to 77, so room temperature. So Ganirelix, and some of these we use the same medication our last cycle, and some of these are medications that do the same thing, they're just different. They're either different names or they're slightly different because we're doing a slightly different protocol this time based on what happened last time. But anyway, so that's Ganirelix. Azithromycin. I'm not sure, again, not sure what I'm going to be doing with that. Oh, these little guys. I remember these. Remember the progesterone shots, the big needles. They're a little vial of progesterone and oil. Looks like this, progesterone and oil. And you load it up in the syringe with the big needle, and that's what goes in my backside. So those are the progesterones. I got a few vials of those. Lots of those. And then Medrol again. Don't know what I'm doing with that yet, but here it is. I'm sorry guys, I feel like I'm super not prepared to explain some of these things to you. I think later, after all this, I'm gonna go through and look at them, and then I think I'm gonna reshare some of those things and clarify what they are and what they do. But I think the point of this is just for you to kind of see what I'm dealing with as I unbox this and put things away. All right, and then there's a box inside of the box. All right, smaller box on this side. See how long it takes for Sarah the cat to jump in it. If you don't know, Sarah the cat Evans is our cat. She is actually a boy cat. That's a whole other story for a whole other day. But, oh, I'm gonna need a knife for this guy. Okay, here is a booklet about administering the medications from the pharmacy. An injection, self-inject guide. Luckily, Tyler's really good about it. Last time he did all my shots, I feel like I would be able to do shots to somebody else without much of an issue, but when it comes to doing it to myself, I psych myself out and I have a really hard time with it. So luckily, Tyler does all my shots for me. If it were in a pinch and like I had to do it because for some reason he wasn't here, I'd make it work, but most of the time I don't do it myself. Patient care guide, I'll look through when I get this stuff all put away. Okay, and here are like the pages of what everything is from the pharmacist. So the prices of everything. I'll look through that a little more later too and give you guys a price estimate. I can tell you how much my copay was. I do have insurance. Insurance covered some of it, probably a lot of it, but I did end up paying about $500 for this round of meds. And again, that was without all the Minipure that somebody had already given to me, and that's just for the meds. So it's expensive. IVF is expensive, and it is just kind of what it is. Okay, so this must be the refrigerated stuff that needs to go in the refrigerator. It's in a styrofoam container with ice packs in it. So the pharmacy ships, that's just an ice pack. The pharmacy ships everything overnight. So they priority mail overnight. Okay, here's more Follistim. So these obviously need to be refrigerated, so I'll probably put those straight into the refrigerator. And I don't know what makes this Follistim different from, you know what, this is probably the actual medication and the other is probably not really. It probably has, I bet you I know what it is now. This probably has the saline solution, which does not need to be refrigerated, and then that is the actual. So some of these medications are ready to just be put into the syringe and injected, like the progesterone's ready. Just load it in and give yourself a shot. Some of them you have to mix. So like, I'm wondering if that's what this is. So these are, yeah, I think these are probably what I mix with. Microfine sterile R. I don't really know. I'm gonna look into it and see, but I think what it is this is probably, this is the pen. You'll load it up. I know how this works just because I've seen people with other conditions like diabetes and things use things similar to this for insulin. But anyways, you load it up, you measure how much you need so that you can give yourself the shot and all of that. And I better stop playing with it because I already did something. Okay. Well, I already messed that up. There we go. All right. So I better stop playing with things until I know what they are and what they're for, or else my receipt's just going to keep getting a little higher. All right. So anyways, I think that's what that is. So this is just the little syringe, the measurable syringe, I guess. And then those are going to be the like solution to mix with the actual Follistim, which goes into the refrigerator. See if there's anything else in here. I think this is it. Let me make sure. More ice packs. And then I'll take out this the whole styrofoam box out of this box. Just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Yep. All empty. Okay. So yeah, those are all my medications except for the Levinox. I think I said that right earlier. Did I say letrozole? Because that's a different medication for a different thing that I use a lot. So guys, it's a lot. So if I mix up medications and I forget what something's for, after seeing all that, I'm sure you can understand. So the Levinox. Is it Levinox? Oh my gosh, I don't think it's Levinox either. I'm drawing a blank on what it is, but what I'm using for my, I don't think I even have it in here because I haven't shipped that yet or billed me for it yet. Whatever it is I'm using for my trigger shot, it's not here yet. As soon as I remember what it's called and get my brain back straight, coffee has obviously not kicked in yet, I will let you know what in the world it is I'll be injecting myself with before our egg retrieval. So anyways, yeah. So I will probably hop on a little later just to kind of give you a little bit of a better breakdown of what everything is and what it's for. But yeah, the point of this was just for you to see kind of how much it is. It is absolutely 1000% overwhelming. And I just thought I would share that with you. All right, guys, we'll talk later. Bye. Okay, guys, so I thought I would show you really fast kind of what my medicine cabinet looks like. So it's really full. I did like a whole huge clean out of my medicine cabinet that I filmed and I was going to post, and then I just didn't like the quality of the film, so I didn't post it. But here is what my medicine cabinet looks like as we're getting ready for IVF. So on the bottom shelf, these are all just like regular daily medicines and vitamins, my prenatals, and then my little old man pill case because I take so many meds every day. It helps me remember what I've already taken care of. I would like to organize it a little better with like little baskets and things like that, but we'll get there. Okay, and then the second shelf up here is all of my IVF meds and the sharps container. This is Arlo's bug spray because I put it in there to get it off of my kitchen counter last night, and I actually have a spot where I'm going to keep that other than in here. But anyway, so all my meds for IVF, and then up here on the top shelf I have more of like my IVF accessories, I guess if you want to call it that. They're like the needles and syringes and alcohol swabs and all of that good stuff. So yeah. Hey guys, so we talked last this morning when I was putting away my medications, and since then I have made sure I had my medications straight and knew what they were for. So I was just really fast going to tell you about them and what they're for. Before I get started, the medication they haven't sent me, and I could not think of the name because it was early and I was overwhelmed, is Lupron. And typically for a trigger shot you use HCG. I will be using Lupron because I last time we did an egg retrieval, I had OHSS, which is where your ovaries get too stimulated and they swell up really big and it's super uncomfortable, and so we're going to try to avoid that this time. So Lupron is the name of that trigger shot that I'll be using, and they won't send that for about another week since it expires 2 weeks after being made. So I'm just going to start with really fast and go through kind of what I already showed you guys this morning. I was not wrong on my things, but I can explain them with a little more clarity. I will be honest, I will ask my doctor on Friday what these are going to be for because I don't know. This one was the prednisol, which I know it's a steroid, but I don't know what they're going to be having me use it for. And then this one is azithromycin, which I know it's used for, like, I know it's a pretty average medication, and I can't remember why I know the name of this. I'll have to look it up, but I don't know what they want me to do with these, so I'm going to wait and find out on Friday at my appointment. Okay, so this is the Menopure. That was the one that a friend already had and gave to us, so we could use this. This and the Follistim. The actual refrigerated Follistim is in the refrigerator. I didn't want to take that out right now. I was figuring I just grabbed this one. But anyways, so the Menopure and the Follistim, they work together. So the Follistim, get it in the camera there, sorry guys. The Follistim is to make the follicles grow, so I can get lots of follicles in both ovaries. And then the Menopure promotes the egg growth. So they work together, they do a similar thing, but one is more the actual follicles and the other one is more the eggs side of it. So this is what will grow all those follicles and hopefully great eggs in my ovaries. So that's what those are. And this is the Ganirelix, and it is going to be the one that I mentioned before. It's going to slow down those follicles that get too big too fast so that the other smaller follicles have a chance to catch up, and it's going to stop me from ovulating before they want me to. So that's Ganirelix. And then the progesterone, which I know what this one is. I'm very well familiar with progesterone in oil. This one is going to be when we do our embryo transfer. It's going to be the progesterone that I'll be taking every day to promote a sticky little bean. So I could talk more about how that's going to work later. But anyways, yeah, that is what those medications are for. I wasn't too far off on what I said, but a little clarification for you, and I will find out what those other 2 medications are going to be used for me, and I will let you guys know whenever I get clarity on that. All right, I will talk to you guys next time. If you like these kind of videos and you are interested in following along with our journey more, please subscribe. And if you want to see kind of up to date what's going on as it happens, come follow me on Instagram at Jenny_Evans_13. Okay guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.